his tournament history. He plays those decks a lot, but again, we've seen a drastic change in the metagame just with Undertaker. It affects the dynamic of how every single deck is built, and
Oh
that
yeah,
alone,
right. There
I
are
mean,
no.
one of the weaknesses for something like Mech Mage was the fact that Undertaker was providing so much pressure that your minions just ended up being inferior to a good Undertaker start, and
True.
that's not the case anymore. It seems like it's a pretty good aggro deck.
Yeah.
I actually see 2 copies of Spectral Knight in RDU's hand too. So this is really indicative of the fact that he's not using something like Ancient of War, and he's going to be focusing on really trying to kill his opponent in terms of with Druid as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we do predict that he is gonna run double combo, especially the Spectre. But Harrison Jones is gonna see picked up here.
There's a Jiraxis in the other hand.
Oh yeah, but the Harrison Jones is pretty strong against a lot of classes right now. Rose have been sneaking in a bit because, like we said, it is a kind of a weak class. But your opponent doesn't really know how to deal with it sometimes. So yeah, that's a pretty good choice right now in the meta. Turn 3 Spectral Knight. That's gonna deliver some aggro. I mean, some amount of pressure.
That seems really menacing right now.
Especially looking at Origin's hand. I mean, 2 antique healbots and Jiraxis to start, along with Sylvanas is not really what you want to see.
Just absolutely no way to answer. He actually can't even play. He can cast Iron Begal if he wanted to, but outside of that, he doesn't have an option outside. I mean, I guess he could Hellfire if he really wanted to, but that's not really a play right now,
Well,
given the circumstances of the game. And then do you even life tap here because you have 9 cards in your hand? So if you fail to find a play, you're just gonna have to burn the coin. And RDU picks up one of the best cards in his deck right now.
wow, yeah. Well, obviously, Orange wants to keep the coin because he can coin the Belcher and actually have a turn 4 play if he wishes again, which he does. No Giants, no Drakes. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure you need to play a Belcher here. That is a lot of damage incoming.
Yeah, he's got to make something happen.
Alright, so here it is. Does RD have a very good response to this? With 5 mana, not quite. He needs to use the hero power.
He could also just silence this and keep going for the dome. That's a possibility.
Oh, wow. That is really greedy, though. I mean, you do expect your opponent to have a lot of taunters and whatnot.
I think probably a safer play is something just like another Spectral Knight or a Druid of the Claw and Taunt, something like that, because the Spectral Knight is there's just such powerful threats versus Handlock, but Druid of the Claw and Taunt is going to prevent this Piloted Treader from getting picked off, and then maybe followed by a Hellfire or something, or even like a Shadow Flame, and just there's a lot of things to consider with playing all these. But of course, if you play Druid of the Claw, Hellfire is still a major consideration for it. He's just going to go with Hero Power here. This is one of those turns where it just feels gross because he's not really developing his board, but he's counter developing his opponent's board, so it's effectively the same thing.
Well, he's basically saving cards, right?
Yeah.
And just throwing them out to die.
Gosh, it just feels so brutal. I hate not playing anything, especially when I have 5 drops in my head.
Oh man. Well, it's gonna come up the Shredder here. It's gonna be just the 2/2 taunt. Pretty regular. Oh, the Shade would have been perfect last turn.
Yeah. Well, it would have gotten Hellfire this turn, actually. So this is actually kind of fortunate fortunate to have not drawn Shade last turn.
Oh, I see. That's interesting.
Second Spectral Knight. I mean, I gotta imagine this is Sylvanas.
I mean, it is turn 6 and you have a 6-drop in your hand, so I believe that would be a good play. You could even, Dark Bomb your Sylvanas next turn and do something funny if if it doesn't get silenced.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvanas is just easily the best one here. I just don't. It's not really a question.
No combo so far for RDU. He just needs to keep on developing the board, I guess. But how does he develop the board with a Sylvanas on the other side?
Yeah, he's got Keeper of the Grove, but something he's going to be worried about in moving forward is Shadow Flame, and then even like a second Hellfire. So if he plays Keeper and he plays Shade and Extramus, a second Hellfire is going to clear his entire board away, and that's one of the last things he needs to happen to him at this point, because he doesn't really have reach after that. He's just got a bunch more minions, and he can hope get the job done.
Ooh, it's just gonna hit the Sylvanas here, donate the Spectral Knight, and probably kill it off of his hero power and play a 5-drop.
Yeah, man, I'm curious. I'm curious. I was curious if he's actually going to play the Harrison or if he's going to play the Piloted Shredder and save the Druid of the Claw right now, because he wants to get these kind of worse minions out of his hand, and it's okay to play Harrison here, but I'm certain that Draxus is something he's thinking about. Like if it gets to that stage of the game, I want to be able to Harrison a Draxus weapon.
And with Jurassic being at only 15 health, you just need to draw the combo and boom, you just need to do one more damage somewhere and you win the
Yeah.
game.
And when you pick up 7 cards, it's tough. It's hard to not find a way to deal damage with Druid.
Yeah, definitely quite hard. But 2 anti-kill bots on orange, if he stabilizes and puts a wall of taunts, he can just keep on using these anti-kill bots and it's gonna be surviving. But now, of course, the problem is getting to that point. He can have he can dark bomb the Shredder and play a Butcher. That's one of the ways. But in turn 7, you really want to drop the Dr. Boom, don't you?
Yeah, I think like something that's going through his head here too is like if I get big game hunted on this Dr. Boom, am I going to be able to win the game? And it looks like it'd be really rough from that point. So it's not that like Dr. Boom is a bad play, but does he have alternate plays that kind of hedges bets versus something like that? So he doesn't have to. So he doesn't have to do something that he feels maybe is a little bit desperate.
I guess Dr. Boom, the problem I see is it's not a matter of desperation or whatnot. It's because Dr. Boom is a 7-mana card. It's very hard to drop a 7-mana card and weave in with something else, right? For example, like Dark Bomb, you can couple it with like something else, like Anti-Kill Bot or whatnot. But Dr. Boom is Dr. Boom, right? It doesn't separate.
Yeah, it's.
So
I mean,
I think I would have preferred Dr. Boom a bit more.
It's I mean, it is really tough, but again, like, the fear of big game hunter here is what I imagine it showing through. It's a lot less about like whether or not he thinks that this is better of a play, and more about what he perceives from his opponent's range and sort of trying to avoid pitfalls.
That's true, but this is his last standalone taunt, right? So like you can't. Sometimes you just kind of want to, stall the taunts as far as possible to make your minions trade and then play the taunt.
Wow, look at this from RDU. This is so aggressive.
All right.
I like this though. This is actually really good.
Right.
I mean, he sort of feels the same. He's feeling that same sort of thing from his opponent, though, that they feel a little bit like on the desperate side, and that they're going to be playing a little bit more safe. And so I think he feels okay sacrificing some of the potential value and the health of Druid of the Claw just to make sure that he keeps his board presence there. I mean, because this is like right now, this is like one of the worst things that Orange can see given his particular hand. He's like a 4-1 and a 2-2. Like both these minions are easily killed. So if he plays something big, he's just going to be able to get extra value out of the fact that he's got this 4-1 sitting on board. And for RDU, this is fine. He's got a couple more minions in his hand he can play, and he's also got the Scenarius to make these guys bigger should they stick to the board. So it's like this is one of those situations where, like, given the exact ranges of hands that these players actually have, it's just like it looks like it's so bad for Orange because RDU's just got all the time in the world to find value.
And yeah, I mean, Orange played the Belcher last turn to kind of like stop the pressure. And now, is he really going to play Dr. Boom because he believes his opponent has pressure, right? So he's going to be forced to play the anti-kill bot instead. So now the Dr. Boom is just going to be dead for a long time.
I mean, this is the problem with the trade-off of that is that when you decide that you can't avoid big game hunter with Dr. Boom, is that you find yourself having to be in these positions where now you didn't get blown up by a potential big game hunter, but now you're giving your opponent plenty of time to actually find one.
Oh god. All right. The spell power swipe might go to the Ancient Watcher, and do you actually clear this? Oh, I guess you do. All right. Well, you do want to protect the Druid of the Claw, right?
Yeah.
So it's fine. Now, Dr. Boom and a Sun Fury could see play.
It seems like one of his better ones right now.
Yeah.
He could just slam Jiraxis.
No. I don't think you could do that. Actually, we could, but I guess.
Yeah, he's got 9 mana available, and Jiraxis is 9 mana. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I mean, I like the 7 mana, turn 7 Dr. Boom. No matter what, I guess it's just super good. Double Keeper of the Grove.
This is such a weird spot too, because now RDU is like in one of the this is sort of a safe turn for Orange too, because at this point he just really has no way to play around combo. Honestly, kind of moving forward, it's gonna get him a lot of value. So he just kind of makes the play that is gonna net him the most, like just straight up value. Wow, and RDU picks up his own Dr. Boom. And if Orange does not find a removal here, this is gonna be pretty bad news.
By the way, let me just say that when there are 4 boom bots on the board, I just get super confused.
I mean, this is a lot of weird stuff that can happen.
I get super confused because the thing is, if you kill one boom bot, theoretically speaking, all the boom bots can just die because they just bounce and bounce. Oh, I guess he's going for it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
If he's gonna start with a Mortal Coil, doesn't he want to attack first? Oh my gosh.
no, you do
Ah, yeah.
Oh, okay, let's see what the
Okay.
points go. All right, Monaco draws a card. It's a BGH. That's perfect.
Oh, that's a big
Goes to
draw.
face
It
1
only
damage.
takes 1 point of damage from big
That
game.
is the
Sorry,
dream.
bot as well.
Oh my
Wow.
god. Oh, that is the absolute dream. Oh man.
Could that have been a better turn for Orange?
No, no. That was the best. Oh, oh, he's gonna save the silence here, huh? He wants. Is he gonna silence this boombot? I mean, is it necessary?
I mean, this is removing 2.5 damage.
2.5 damage. Okay.
That's the expectation on it.
No, they all go one apparently.
There's always one.
Yeah.
He even would have picked up a Siphon Soul.
Oh, nice. That's gonna deal with Sonaris pretty well. Another Sunfree comes down, and wow, the tides have changed a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a giant swing in board pressure. And there's no swipe available, and there's no combo available, and there's not really much available for RDU here. He's just going to have to keep her to grab this 4-2, and then looks to me like Lotheb is really likely afterwards. Yeah, he just needs something on the board.
But then over Orange's side, a Molten is drawn as well. So you get to choose Molten or Anti-Killbot pretty much, I guess.
I think I'm going with Molten Giant here.
Do you tap first? It's against a Druid. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I don't even really know if he needs a tap. It just kind of depends on how he perceives this game's going. He picks up a second Siphon Soul.
That's 11 mana, so it's probably not going to see play.
Or if Orange could keep a small lead, these Siphon Souls are going to very easily take him to victory. It's just that's like when that card is best is when you have a lead and you're using Siphon Souls to put yourself out of reach of your opponent and kill something big that they have.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. It goes with actually every class, right? Even with rogues, if you have a board and you keep on just removing them with backstab, eviscerates, blade flurry, and just keep on pushing damage, then that's how you win. So yeah. Well, still no sign of any combo from RDU.
This has been really interesting. I mean, he's pretty far into his deck.
Yeah, like halfway maybe. Maybe there's like 15 cards left. That's a lot of cards.
It looks to me like he's gonna have to try to draw for a big game hunter here. Like, cause he has to have a way to deal with this Molten Giant. He can't just let this go unchecked.
Mm-hmm. So you could also play Sonaris and play up 2 taunts, but I mean, there's a big chance that the Molten is just gonna go for your face, huh? Like a simple Shadow Flame or something, and just clears your board.
All right, he's gonna go with Cenarius. That to me may indicate he actually doesn't have a copy of Big Game Hunter.
Oh!
And speak of the devil, a Shadow Flame.
Oh.
Straight away. Is there a better way to clear the board though?
Do you want to Shadow Flame the Sun Fury and then sacrifice the bomb and then play the Siphon Soul perhaps?
Well, you could also Shadow Flame the Anti-Keelbot. And then
Oh, that is interesting.
Gosh.
Oh,
you can Shadow Flame his own face too.
Yeah, the Sun Fury is a bit better.
And then just run the Boombot in after Siphon Soul.
Yeah, this just looks the best.
Wow, that is a big swing of cards. RDU takes 8 damage to the face. He picks up a Force of Nature, but I mean, this may be a little bit too little. I mean, at this point, he certainly is going to have to draw for a big game hunter here.
YOLO BGH. Oh, what? Oh, he's just kill this off with this and keep with the Grove. Oh man. Oh.
Oh gosh, that's.
Oh, that is so gross to look at.
Yeah. He just doesn't have. Now even if he draws Savage Roar, he's not even close to lethal. Mountain Giant gets picked up. Even at 8 mana, Mountain Giant's still pretty scary right now because Orange feels very comfortable. He knows his opponent doesn't have a way to deal with these 8/8 Giants, and each one of these plays is just going to get him closer to winning the game.
Wait. RDU played that really fast. So is Orange thinking of the combo right now?
I don't think he is. Like he's obvious. He's going to weigh it and consider it, but I think in his mind at this point, it's just like RDU has to be so far away from the combo that it's just not going to end up happening.
Well, he actually does play around combo a little bit, huh?
I would be extremely surprised if he played around combo right now.
Definitely a very funky situation, you know. Your
Oh my
opponent did play.
gosh.
I mean, your opponent did play the first thing really, really fast, right? So
Oh, they did, certainly, but they also just invested it into killing your Molten Giant, too.
that's true. That's true. Interesting. Well, now RDU is thinking whether he wants to draw cards now. I guess. I mean, your opponent didn't kill you last turn. Can't really kill you
I
this turn.
I think at this point he's going to have to heal if he's taking face damage from this.
All right. Well, I guess the Dark Bomb draw does kill him right away, so that heal does make sense. Why not? But now, if Orange believes that his opponent has combo last turn, what the heck does he do this turn? Does he Siphon Soul and not play anything?
That's sort of exactly where I'm thinking, too.
Oh, man.
I think he's going to play Mountain Giant now.
Oh, the Dark Bomb does come out. That heal was pretty clutch.
What if he just drops Jiraxis?
Like, whoa. and kill yourself for 9?
RDU needs to draw something like Big Game Hunter, like right now.
Oh, yeah, that's really
Getting
awesome.
ugly. You know, how many cards does Orange have left? I'm curious. Something like Naturalize would be great. Oh, second Force of Nature. This is actually like a pretty decent pickup right now because he just needs to
6
wait.
cards left for Orange, by the way, yeah.
He just needs ways to deal with the Mountain Giant. I actually could really see him using his 5/5 here to deal damage and then just swiping it.
Right? You might... Oh, you play the Nax Ramus instead. I guess it's
Yeah.
only damage difference. So
The other thing too is it doesn't seem like a lot right now, but each point of armor does make a little bit of a difference when you're sitting at 8 life. Ancient
Watcher, that's pretty bad.
It's another potential threat with the Iron Beak Owl, just kind of depending on how he's moving forward. I mean, this is going to be, this is the mountain that RDU has to get past here right now. Is seeing another 8/8 hit the board.
Well, Orange is sitting pretty because you can't really die to the combo right now with 22 health. So yeah, just drop your 2 creatures, and RDU needs some help here. Is that some help?
It's decent, but I don't know if this is really going to get the job done again because he has to get past removal first.
Oh man, and the Siphon Soul is actually threateningly lethal too if he just plays this as a taunt.
I think he's just going to Force Nature and keep clearing. I mean, this is so consistent with the game plan he's chosen already.
Wait, then how can he win?
Well, he's got to.
He can't win anymore.
He's got to believe.
But no, because he used both Force of Natures already. Like he's out of juice.
Well, he could just get a bunch of minion value. It really depends. Like if Orange misplays at some point, like if this Jiraxis gets dropped too early, that's really I think RDU's major out to victory. 2 Twilight Drakes instead get picked up.
Oh my god.
And this is pretty easy pickings for Orange at this point.
Pretty pickings. 1 Yeti and 1 bigger Yeti.
There's a Savage Work finally.
Oh no.
And I gotta believe this Harrison is gonna get played at this point. Now, but RDU may be thinking that exact same thing though, where it's like, hey, it's Jiraxis into Harrison is one of the only ways that he's actually going to win this game. So he has to hope that his opponent makes a mistake like that. So he's weighing that consideration right now. Like, is a 5/4 worth more than the potential that my opponent just blunders? And I think what he's hoping with these plays is that he can just sneak through a couple more points of damage, and his opponent feels comfortable just dropping Jiraxis on the board. Orange picks up a second Molten Giant though, and he's so far into his deck, it's really no surprise to have seen him draw all these threats.
Well, it doesn't matter because it's lethal in multiple of ways, and Orange is going to pick up the first win against RDU.
Wow, what a long game! I gotta believe this game would have panned out differently had RDU, drawn something like a Big Game Hunter early on, and if Orange had actually gone with a really aggressive stance on Dr. Boom on turn 7, I think he would have run away with the game really early. But Orange gonna take this one game to 0, and I don't really. Other than the Dr. Boom turn,
right,
and the first Mountain Giant turn, I don't think there was really much that can happen to you. It doesn't make a lot of sense for his lineup to queue up Freeze Mage in this instance, I feel like.
Right. Interesting. But Orange decides to go along with it. He's going to play this match out. He thinks his chances are pretty good.
Yeah, from what I understand, this is like one of the worst matchups for Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so difficult to win this game.
Right. Well, it depends, I guess. I mean, it depends on how the Fatigue Mage actually draws their cards. For example, like this is an insane hand for RDU, right? But if you're forced to play Death Lords a lot and your opponent, just pops a giant after giant, and you don't have the necessary freezes or removals, then it becomes a big problem.
Yeah, it's pretty tough not to have it all though when you take a look at the way this hand is. Like
Mhm.
all the cards in this deck are pretty linear, aside from stuff like Echo, Medivh, and Duplicate, which are just meant to be your effective card draw. It's
Right.
just stuff that's really powerful at killing things.
That's true. So now RDO has to deal with this first Drake. I guess he's just gonna ignore it. Seems like he's gonna ignore it. I mean, I think he's he actually practiced this deck a lot to be bringing this in this kind of tournament, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like a tournament that you just play for fun, right? This is actually a pretty serious tournament with like real money on the line. So like he
Yeah, so, I
definitely
mean,
feels confident with this.
there's a 5K prize pool in this.
Yeah.
Orange is sort of faced with a really weird situation where a Death Lord's on his opponent's side of the board, but there's also a Doomsayer, and this is something you really don't see next to each other
Right.
very often, especially in a constructed setting. How do you even go about this? Like, do you kill this Death Lord, see what you get, and then decide whether or not you want to silence this Doomsayer? That's what it looks like he's going to do.
All right, let's see what happens here. It's gonna be popping out not a Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame is not a minion. It is a. Oh my
Oh,
god,
that's a big
pretty
one.
sweet. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so RDU is going to have to fend this off now, and that card is not going to do it at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But a few
Well,
options available to him. I mean, this isn't like the worst looking spot, I think, for RDU. You know, it's a lot of damage that you're facing, but your hand has so much potential to fend off what's happening.
right, and of course you are thinking of whether you can, kill some cards off from the handlock if you use the Cold Light Oracle, right? Right now, if you use the Cold Light, your opponent doesn't really discard any cards. But at the same time, do you really want to take 11 damage? And you don't really have answers right now, so that's also a problem. Gonna go with the Frost Nova here, coupled with just a ping and getting ready for the Flame Strike.
Yeah, ping there makes perfect sense.
Oh, and Argus actually pulls Sylvanas out of the Flame Strike range. Should Orange choose to do that?
I gotta imagine he's gonna Argus here. It just, you want to keep board presence down.
Right.
You want to keep developing your board. You want to make sure that your stuff's out of range of stuff like Flame Strike.
Mm-hmm.
So Belcher's a reasonable play with that as also. But I think Defender of Argus it's a lot harder to use Defender of Argus in that light than it is to use Belcher. Like, you just play Belcher. But with Defender of Argus, you have to actually have presence on the board.
Yeah, that's true. But then also, we see that RDU has a Blizzard into Flame Strike. So if Argus would have come down there, it would have been pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
The things would have still died. But, well, thinking about the Cold Light Oracle.
Yeah, I think the Ice Barrier gives him like a sort of a sense of security.
Right?
If he plays the Cold Light Oracle.
But more answers is definitely a good thing. And you do want the Ice Barriers, to kind of proc as soon as possible so that your Mad Scientist can actually pull something out. Actually, like you said last day, I don't think that Mad Scientists are actually found in this deck, right?
Yeah, this deck just runs secrets. It doesn't actually have Mad Scientist because you don't want to pull cards out of your own deck. Like, this deck doesn't actually have any actual card draw other than the Cold Light Oracle, because that keeps the card draw even with your opponent. But the card draw it runs is in the form of stuff like Duplicate and Echo Medivh. It doesn't actually have a way to pull a card out of its deck.
Okay. Really?
I gotta believe this is just Flame Strike. I mean, is a 0/7 really gonna do anything for your opponent?
Yeah, but then at the same time, don't you just want to Blizzard into Flame Strike? Wouldn't that be a bit better?
You definitely can. I don't know.
Kill stuff, right?
I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about this. I feel like I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, my inexperience with this deck has led me to not play with it too much because it takes you 6.5 hours to finish 3 games. But
one game.
yeah. So I mean, even if I played for a month straight, I'd only be 15 games into my fatigue mage practice.
Well, the game is like 30 minutes, and then you need 6 hours of therapy. So that's 6.5 hours. That's for sure. So it's just gonna come down here, and now the Flame Strike is gonna be really, really effective.
Yeah, Flame Strike is really good here too, but this is one of the few spots I think for a while that he's going to be able to actually Cold Light to burn cards.
Right, but the Flame Strike looks so juicy right now. You really want to do it.
It's juicy. And you can follow it up with a Sheet next turn. I mean, there are plenty of other plays. It's just a matter of because the other thing too is he's at 30. So how comfortable does he feel with his life total? You know, like if he plays Cold Light Oracle and he gets a card burn in, he has Ice Barrier to fend off some of this damage. He's really not taking that much, and then he can always just Flame Strike next turn.
Right. I think you know what? There's another thing. You want to keep the Doomsayer on your board so the Echo of Medivh actually works. So losing the Doomsayer might not seem much, but it does, affect stuff. And there it
when
is.
He actually gets Echo Medivh. I don't think it's going to get cast this turn, though. I think he's got to go with Ice Barrier.
Well, actually,
oh my gosh!
I think it's going to be casted this turn. I mean, you have a Doomsayer and you get the Murloc. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with Ice Barrier here. Oh, that's one of the best burns for Orange and one of the worst ones for RDU.
Uh-huh. Doesn't even affect the matchup anyhow.
And so many options, but he's got to be worried about second Cold Light Oracle and stuff like that. Like he's going to be focusing on how to get cards out of his hand too, because he is nowhere near actually being able to kill RDU in this position.
Well, you don't want to tap too much now because every card draw draws you closer to fatigue. I mean, I think Jaraxxus is one of the main things that you can kill a fatigue mage with because you can just summon 6/6 all day, and that's your threat. So I believe turn 9 is going to be a Jaraxxus, but this turn is a little bit hard.
Yeah, this turn looks really rough. There just is a distinct lack of valuable options.
Does he think might be a duplicate too? Oh man, wouldn't that be something?
This
He's
is
gonna tap
tough.
the face first, and then he should definitely decide fast, right? I mean, if it's an Ice Barrier, okay, you have like half the rope left. The Ice Barrier does take a long time to shoot up. That's a lot of time. Anti-Cubot's gonna come down. Everything to the face. What is he gonna do? Oh man, okay. So and that's it.
Yeah, I was trying to watch how this is gonna pan out. So now this is a good Flame Strike turn.
But is it a good Flame Strike turn? Oh man.
Turn 6.
All right, and then what do you follow up with?
Probably Coin and a Ping.
Coin and Ping? Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, just to pull more damage off the board.
But yeah, I am pretty much going to expect that Jaraxxus is going to come down here.
It really wouldn't surprise me to just see it straight away. I mean, he did just play anti-Keelbot though, so I mean that may be something into consideration. Is that he doesn't feel like he wants to just jam Jaraxxus. Oh, never mind. He snap jammed Jaraxxus.
Of course he jammed Jaraxxus. Yeah, I mean, like fatigue mages don't run any fireballs or or like pyroblast or something like that. So I think this is a very good play.
Yeah, this is a really heads-up play and really showing that he's understanding of this matchup. This is just the way you win it.
Here's a little bit of a problem for RDU now. BGH does not kill any of the giants, so he's just gonna try and duplicate as many belches as he can, and just go from there, I guess.
Just try to buy time until he can find a way to close this out.
Right. You still need to be still a little bit careful of your health as Jaraxxus. Double Frostbolt is the burn. So, if suddenly RDU has, found another Frostbolt and you're at like 8 health or something, then he's actually going to start pinging you and try that.
Mistake!
Mistake?
Yeah, he didn't play the Twilight Drake first.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a mistake. But I guess 9 pretty much equals 10 at this point. I mean, come on. Is that really going to change?
I just like seeing and hearing Jaraxxus go, mistake!
Alright. Belcher's going to get duplicated here. That is pretty sweet. Pretty good deal.
Actually, RDU's position, it looks really scary right now, but he's got a few draws in here that can really power through this. Anti-Keelbot is not one of them. But this game is like certainly not at it. Like if he draws a second Flame Strike here, he can clear this board up pretty nicely, and then he's just got so many cards after that he might be able to put something together.
Well, yeah, but until then, he just basically needs to stall.
Yeah.
Even playing double Belcher here is really dangerous because Orange can just summon an Inferno and use the Shadow Flame as a board clear, and then push for more damage that way.
That's what he's thinking about too. It looks to me like he's thinking about Anti-Keelbot and one Sludge Belcher in case of something like Shadow Flame.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of cards in your opponent's hand, right? So we're gonna see a Belcher plus an anti-K-Bot, just like you said, popping up back to 29 health, a little bit more healthy, I guess. Mountain Giant. Don't have a lot of space to put all these stuff down.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. He's just running a Doomsday was just like taking up a slot.
It's never gonna go away, right? I mean, you can Argus it.
He's just like he's just in town square yelling nonsense about the world ending.
Yep. And I mean, he's not breaking any laws, so. So, you know, he's there. Shadow Flame does come out, and Orange is gonna push a lot of damage here. This 29 health is gonna evaporate pretty fast.
He's got a defender up. No, defender the 0-7. Come on.
Oh man. All right.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Damage.
I take back what I said. RDU's in looks like he's in terrible shape, and
oh god. Yeah, I don't think RDU is gonna like, you know. He's like, you got his back, and then you just run away.
It's just words of encouragement. House has got his back.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that face he's making.
Look at
too.
those lips, man. Look at those lips. That's a weird lip position. Anyways, a Frost Nova would be pretty good because it does guarantee that nothing is gonna come out.
Wait, why does RDU have that picture of House on his wall?
Wait, oh my. he finds a little. It makes him feel zen, you know. Makes him feel zen. Yeah. Belcher plus what? Man, it's just looking so rough for RDU right now.
You know, it's gonna sound weird, but I think you just play Explosive Sheep. I think you just have to have this do something.
something. I mean, pinging that, I guess you're setting up for a Flame Strike, but man, this is not looking good.
Setting up for a Flame Strike. Quotey fingers.
Yeah. Mortal Core is gonna come down on the ooze, so actually give it +5/+5.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, because the Inferno. I was like,
yeah, give it +5/+5.
I don't think you know how Mortal Coil works, Amaz.
And draw a card. And draw a card.
Oh, that's a Flame Strike, though.
That is a
All
Flame
right,
Strike.
can he put something together now? You know, if he had that Explosive Sheep on the board, he might have been able to.
Right, that's true. But now it's probably going to be a Flame Strike plus ping, isn't it?
You know, the other thing he can do, though, is he can play Explosive Sheep and then Echo Medivh.
And then Explosive Ship again?
Yeah.
And then that's 4 damage across everything?
Right.
It's pretty exciting. And you also get a free Belcher. Oh, Polymorph going to come down instead. And, oh, he's going to do that and actually set up for the, oh, a Frostball on that instead. Okay, so he just clears the board, I guess. Ooh. Cleared the board too well, I have to say.
Trying to clean up. Siphon Soul gets picked up.
Is that lethal?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, because he's got to get through the 1, 2.
Oh, man.
So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, he's got 11.
It's actually 1 damage of lethal. Forsen, what are you doing here?
He's just got so many. Like, it's just how does he actually lose this game from this point?
I have no idea.
Turn 9
RDU
Jiraxis
has
is
already
just
burned
so
through
powerful.
both of the Coda Oracles too.
Yeah. Wait, did he burn through both?
Yeah. Yeah, both of them are gone. So how do you win? How many cards is in Jiraxis deck anyways?
That looks like it hits the 6 mark.
Yeah,
It
it's
that size.
more like a 5 or 4 to me, actually. Okay, so more 6/6 coming. Oh man, this BGH has not seen play for the longest time. It's
Yeah,
just
Orange is doing
sitting dead.
Orange has been doing a really good job out of not running into BGH
Right.
so far this
Wait.
game.
Is it a good job, or is it because he can't play the Molten Giants ever?
It's a little bit of both. I'm
Alright.
really surprised he didn't make an Inferno.
Yeah, just because I think the way he's gonna lose this game right now is the shenanigans, like a Fireball Frostbolt suddenly, right?
Oh, like if RDU had put a Fireball in this deck or something weird.
Yeah, random Fireball, because Fireball does kind of it's not that efficient in clearing stuff, but at least it does clear something, right?
You know,
So
that's also really consistent with his last game with the handlock, where he didn't play Dr. Boom on turn 7, and he wanted to hedge
right.
his bets against Big Game Hunter.
Yeah.
It's like he's being really careful in all of his situations to make sure that he doesn't misstep and just lose to a card that he just happened to not account for, or something that he did account for and chose like, oh, if my opponent has that, I'll let him have it. He's trying to go like the extra mile, and even if it takes him a couple of extra turns to win, he wants to have just complete control over the game.
And unfortunately, right now, Orange is 1 damage off of a lethal once again. Still gonna go for it because I mean, what is RDU gonna have? Tree of Life or something?
Yeah, the Jirax's weapon has just dealt so much damage.
Yeah. Oh, I went for 5 charges. That's 15 damage. Cone
Well,
of Cold.
there's a cone of cold, but those minions are also separated. And
Wow.
there's no way that RDU can actually sustain this turn, and Orange is going to take a 2-0 lead over RDU now, and he's on a major back foot after expending his coup charge on the very first game with Druid versus Druid. This handlock is now 2 of his decks, and the coup charge is still available, I believe.
Yep. For Orange, yeah.
So
in all these tournaments for nothing. He does have some skills available. And Auctioneer is actually going to be seeing play in this deck.
yeah, this is Auctioneer and a Sprint, by the way. So this is something that I don't think I've ever seen this happen. In particular, he chooses to keep Auctioneer, and there's Spot Teacher and Harrison Jones. So what I get a sense of with this is that this is just more of a value deck, and what he wants to do is he just wants to have his cards be extremely efficient throughout the entire course of the game.
But how efficient do you get if you're facing down 8/8s and 4/10s and 4/9s and stuff like that?
Well, that might be the tricky part. That may be why he wasn't queuing up this Rogue versus Handlock to start with, and why he tried to queue up the other deck instead of this one versus Handlock as well. But Sap may give him a little bit of power to start, getting through that mid-game stage.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe putting together a board presence where he can actually win. So just hero powers traded back and forth for now.
Oh man, Twilight Drake picked up for Orange as well. That is going to be pretty brutal.
Yep.
But he's going to set up something for the imminent threat that's going to come down in turn 4. The magical turn for Warlocks, of course. It's where magic happens.
Do you go with Twilight Drake? Do you go with Twilight Drake or Mountain Giant here, you think?
I think Twilight Drake is perfectly fine. Because one, it's not gonna get removed, and usually if you play the first giant and they have a removal option like eviscerate and whatnot, they're gonna actually kill your first giant and save the BGH for later anyways. So the Twilight Drake is a little bit more sticky. And if RD chooses to sap this, he can actually play the giant and Dark Bomb next turn, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Violet Teacher looks like it's pretty consistent with what he's been doing. He's just gonna go for face and.
Save the dagger shot. All right, Argus is a pretty damn good card here.
Yeah, this is gonna
split the Violet Teacher.
kill the Violet Teacher.
That was a pretty good draw.
Do you think there was any merit for RDU to coin and play Deadly Poison last turn, or do you think he's just looking to get Auctioneer value from those?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the coin and the Auctioneer look really, really nice. I mean, wow, this dates back to the beginning of Hearthstone where Auctioneer was still 5 mana, and you just hate to see when you in this 5 they drop Auctioneer, the coin, Deadly Poison, Preparation, Fat of Knives, blah blah blah. You just want to, you just want the movie to end, right? So the coin is like super strong when you have the Auctioneer. So
I've noticed
it.
you've seen a lot of bad movies lately.
Oh god.
You're like when you go to a movie theater and it's just bad, and you're like, I want to keep watching it, but I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
And
waste your money too, right? Yeah, that sucks.
That's all right now. Just a lot of bad movies watched from Ramaz.
Oh!
Yeah, that's a spicy meatball.
Spicy meatball. That's what we call that card. Okay. All right. This is going to be a lot of card draw. Oh my god. Sabotage.
Wow, he even has sabotage. Gosh,
right.
it's just.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
Welcome.
Oh.
To 6 months ago.
Yeah, welcome to Value Town is what this is. Holy heck. Trump is somewhere in this deck right now.
Oh gosh.
Look at how many cards RDU just drew. And the tempo he got from this. I mean, this is actually like This feels like really good shape now for RDU.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So Orange, on the other hand, only has 7 mana to work with, right? And compared to RDU's 100 just now. So what do you do with 7 mana here?
Um, it really is going to depend on what he's concerned with, but I don't really see many other plays other than just doing something to directly deal with the auctioneer. I mean, the last thing you want to happen is them just be draw infinite cards.
Yeah. Well, you could have silenced it and played the Belcher, for example. That's one way. But this deck doesn't really run any bigger threats, so Siphon Soul is perfectly logical there. Azuric is going to draw yet another card. I think RDU is just really looking for that big Blade Flurry to finish out the game. And for now, just put up some residual damage, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing he wants to do is he wants to keep the board clean because Sabotage doesn't destroy a targeted minion, it destroys a random minion.
Yeah, that's true.
So he needs to be able to keep stuff off the board to make sure that he can get value out of the Sabotage. So that's something else he's thinking about as well. And Orange, I'm certain, is mindful of that. I would be considering... I wouldn't expect to see Sabotage, but I certainly would be considering it in a situation like this. And now RDU just going to fortify his board position and make sure he's at a healthy life total so he can continue to use his weapons right.
Well, if RDU actually decides to play the anti-heal bot and the Shade here, Hellfire is going to be a pretty good clear.
Yeah, I think I like this SI7 on the...
Oh, wow.
That instead. So now, if he chooses to silence it, it's just going to trade straight away with one of these 3/3s. And if he Hellfires, it's going to be lost in it as well. I think he also is... This kind of encourages something like Shadow Flame, which I'm sure that RDU is fine with seeing right now.
Oh, is it going to be a Mountain Giant to Hellfire?
Wow, and it also sets up the Sabotage. This has been just like a really great turn for RDU.
Well, I mean, not really setting up a Sabotage too well here. Oh, actually it does, because the Owl is just going to die. Oh, but the Ancient Watcher is going to come down here too. Okay. A little bit tricky puzzle here for RDU. Yeah, but Sap is the easy out. Sap is like, I don't want to think anymore. Let's just do that.
He can still just use Phantom Knives and run the anti-heal bot to the 4/5, use a dagger charge, and then Sabotage, but he doesn't really like develop if he does that. And so the other thing he can do is he could use the South Sea Deckhand and run the anti-heal bot and the South Sea Deckhand into the Ancient Watcher and go from there. But again, sort of the same position as he's trying to find a way to like get something done and kill this Mountain Giant. And it's just difficult to do right now. So favoring the options instead, I think, is probably one of his better bets.
All right, this Giant's getting cut. Ooh, ouch. And gone.
Can you imagine how sharp of a knife you'd have to just like
pierce through a mountain giant, right?
Yeah, just slit a mountain's throat.
Oh man,
that's tough work.
You know, suddenly I want to eat Rocky Road ice cream. Thanks.
You need... So, Mountain Giants dying makes you think of Rocky Road ice cream.
Yeah, I mean they're rocky, you know. And then the knife thing is kind of like, you know, you eat ice cream with a knife, so it's pretty good.
You had ice cream with a knife?
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone do that.
Well, it's not. It's like a knife spoon kind of thing, you know. It kind of like operates as like both.
A knife spoon.
A knife spoon.
I've never heard of that.
Okay, I don't even know what it's called in English or whatnot. So yeah.
You can get.
Anyhow, back to. I got a bit distracted there. Mountain Giant plus the Belcher is a pretty good turn, and it's out of saps, right? So RDU has to deal with these minions now, one way or the other, or just win the game.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of damage on the board just to help do it though. Sludge Belcher is gonna try to throw a wrench in that plan.
Yeah, Sludge Belchers are pretty annoying to deal with, but Do you think RDU runs Tinker's Oil in this deck?
I don't think so. With everything we've seen so far, we've seen so many utility cards that to me it just doesn't make a ton of sense to have seen at this point. Blood Mage Thalnos, not a bad pickup. He can keep his Shade around now if he doesn't want to use. He can also keep the South Sea. The South Sea Deckhand is for something, I assume. So he doesn't want to expend it for damage. But he's going to choose to use the Shade and then go ahead and develop Assassin's Blade. And that's partially, I think, because he's got that Blade Flare in his hand. So Blood Mage is going to be hung onto for now. And he's got a 5/2 on the board. Sylvanas, not an exciting draw at the moment. I got to believe this is going to be a Dr. Boom here.
You know, there's one thing I did not really anticipate is
Oh,
that this game is going for this long.
yeah, I didn't really think so either. So I mean, I actually didn't see that Hellfire in his hand when I said that Sylvanas wasn't that great of a draw. So ignore everything I said. Sylvanas was like a perfect draw.
Yeah.
I have no time for games.
All
Wow.
right. So what does RDU deal? How does he deal with this without?
Um,
Oh.
yeah, that's a good one.
That's,
I get yeah,
oh.
Sprint is looking pretty good. Wait, Artie doesn't have that many cards left.
Wait, how many cards does he have left? Can we have like a mouse over here? It looks like two.
I mean, that is very few cards right now.
So
Yeah.
options.
He has a deadly poison left, even though he used one just before. And Harrison is gonna come down here. I mean, he does realize that if Jiraxis is gonna come out, like I am not gonna use Harrison Jones and kill myself.
Yeah, he just needs a 5/4. Wow, RDU actually, I think he doesn't have enough cards left in his deck to justify using the sprint.
Sprint is suddenly changed to deal 10 damage to yourself and draw 4 cards. You know, that's terrible. Only wants that. Oh man. Orange, on the other hand, it's a lot of cards. Still can't play the Molten Giant. Gosh. But I mean, BGH is pretty good here with the Shadow Flame to clear the board. And RDU yet draws another card. Preparation. Oh, there is the Tinker's
Oh,
Oil.
there is a Sharp Sword Oil.
Oh, that's
and
a lot of damage now.
That is, yo, that's a ton of damage.
It's a yo. That's a lot of damage.
I gotta believe at this point.
Wait, is he thinking of sprinting? Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I think at this point he's gonna sprint because he wants to find the other deadly poison that's in his deck. If I recall correctly,
boy,
there's one
4
left. So
cards left.
RDU is gonna go down to 0
Exactly.
cards in his deck, and he is all in on this South Sea deckhand.
Oh, that is pretty YOLO, I have to say. But this dagger, look at the damage of this dagger. Oh man. In Orange, I go like, why didn't I play Ooze right now?
I don't really know what the thought process is here. I mean, you jam everything in. You don't
Jam
really have,
everything, right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess it's good to weigh your options once you have literally all of your cards left in your deck drawn.
I guess so.
I don't see another. If this is your play, you got to go for it.
Yep. And you already comboed
Did
some
you, like,
cards.
disconnect or something?
No way.
So many options.
Wait, what? Whoa!
What?
He chooses to pass?
I don't understand. That makes no sense.
Oh!
This is a blunder from RD.
I think Archie just facepalmed.
Uh,
What?
I mean, looking at his facial expression, something had to have happened there.
No.
I am very confused. I think this is just.
No.
Oh my goodness.
I'm quite speechless right now.
I am very speechless. That is.
He could have pushed how much that 5 plus 8 is 13 damage. And then if he Blade Flurry, he would have won because that's 21. And he has an Eviscerate on top of that too, you know? Oh no. Well, the rope didn't bomb. The turn ended, which means he pressed the end turn button.
Choose soon.
You know?
Yeah, I'm just. I'm
Wow.
confused. I mean, I guess he's got to hope that these boom bots just hit the wrong targets. That looks like an eviscerate to self, by the way. Yep. Wow. I'm speechless. What a blunder on RD's point. Orange is going to take the series 3 games to 0. Your face. Wow.